Hey guys, this is Wildcat Chris Harris, TNA original and one half of 6-time TNA World Tag Team Champions, America's Most Wanted. You are listening to the TNA Cross the Line podcast.
TNA Wrestling, Cross the Line.
And we're back with episode 141 of the TNA Cross the Line podcast. I am Bob Colling Jr. And with me, as always, is Dallas Gridley. And Dallas, I don't know about you, but I am full of turkey. I'm still exhausted from all of the turkey, mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes, corn, stuffing, all that good stuff. Because we're coming off of Thanksgiving. And boy, are we thankful to be doing this podcast. Thankful for everybody listening. And just thankful for TNA in general.
Wow, dude, did I write that for you?
You did. There was a couple of spelling errors, but I fixed it.
Hey man, I can edit now on Twitter, baby.
Yeah, you can.
If I actually catch them, then they'll be edited, and you'll see this post has been edited last, and it'll be like 6 hours after it was already out, and it won't even matter anymore. Because guess what? Even when I make typos, we still get retweets. It don't matter.
Well, your typos are usually just other words, so it's not like a misspelled word, it's just not the right word.
Well, it's because the autocorrect, it'll like switch it. Yeah. So it's like you'll type with an O instead, and it'll change it completely to like both. Right. And it's like, shit. Yeah. Hey, I'm trying to get better, but listen, when I'm doing some of this stuff at like midnight some nights, it's bound to happen. Although I'll tell you what, Bob, it's been a hell of a lot easier with Impact rather than doing pay-per-view and Impact, like the weeklies. So, actually, I mean, it's who knows if we're gonna keep seeing typos. Right now, Twitter's still up as of this recording. Who knows what's gonna happen, man? I'm just saying. I saw anything is possible.
I saw that Elon said that it's like near bankruptcy.
Listen, guys, if Twitter happens to fall down, you make sure you find us on Facebook at TNA Cross the Line Podcast. Just saying, we are still on social media.
I'm just confused as to how you can spend $44 billion on something and then it goes bankrupt within a month.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
That's just weird. Like, that's bad investments. Like, what do we do? $44 billion? And you're just like, oh well.
I don't know, man. It's been entertaining, to say the least. But not nearly as entertaining as TNA Impact has been entertaining us for now. This is what, the 26th episode?
Yeah, half a year for Impact.
26 episodes. We got a couple TV specials in there. We had our first epic pay-per-view, and Bob, in just 2 weeks, we're at our second.
I know, turning point right around the corner.
That's freaking crazy, man.
December 5th, I believe, is the date for that.
It's freaking crazy.
Yeah. Turning point, we obviously know a few matches scheduled, which would be the Six Sides of Steel cage match between America's Most Wanted and Triple X.
Right, which they announced at Victory Road.
Correct. And there has been some promotion on Impact, like guys, they got thrown into the cage by Kings of Wrestling, I believe, leading to a brawl.
Yep.
Two teams. X Division champion Petey Williams will be defending against Chris Sabin. That was mostly a whole thing where it's like, I know the counter for the Destroyer. And then Sabin has now countered it at least twice on television.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. Originally, I was kind of against doing that because, the sell, you want to sell the pay-per-view. Could he do it? But I guess doing it on television would then give the viewer the confidence that he, in fact, can do it.
Which, if you're a wrestling fan, to me, that just screams he's going to lose.
Yeah, I mean, if you show him doing that.
But you never know. I mean, you never. But like, that's just That's just where I'm going for that.
Yeah. Diamond Dallas Page, bang, the three-time WWE World Champion. He recently debuted. I believe it was the Impact after Victory Road that he arrived, and he has made it clear that he is coming after Raven because he cost Raven a match against Monty Brown on Impact. And that is likely, I believe the challenge was set for Turning Point, and it's going to happen at Turning Point. I believe Raven has accepted that.
Yeah, I feel like they accepted that in the last episode.
Yeah, I think he was like, DDP's like going to die. So,
yeah,
it was the whole thing. And then really the main event, probably your main draw here, is the Kings of Wrestling. Jeff Jarrett, the NWA World Champion, Kevin Nash, and Scott Hall are going to be competing in a 6-man tag match against AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy. Dallas is shaking his head no.
It's just can't believe it.
And Randy Savage. Randy Savage, I never even realized that he appeared on Impact.
Yeah, dude, it's pretty. It was the last episode, I believe, right? Because the first one, it was like he's not with the company, and Jarrett was like, "We left him bloodied in the park." And all of a sudden, he's back. And Bob, we're going to talk. I believe over this episode and our next week's episode, we are going to talk a lot about Randy Savage. I think we have some interesting notes going, but there's a lot of interesting stuff going on. So we will get there. But yeah, dude, that's pretty already Turning Point. Sounds pretty freaking good to me.
It's a pretty solid looking card. Also going on in TNA on the shows here is Michael Shane is going through an identity crisis. 1 week he is Michael Shane. 3 days later he's Matt Bentley, and he's back to being Michael Shane. So right now he is still being addressed as Michael Shane, despite having said, "I'm Matt Bentley," and by him I mean the announcers.
Okay, you know what I'm really curious about? So he was Matt Bentley on the pay-per-view, Victory Road.
Right.
He's been Michael Shane, our Best Damn Wrestling Event period specials, and now Impact. On Turning Point, is he going to be Matt Bentley again?
Is it a pay-per-view gimmick?
I don't know. I'm just saying.
It's a very interesting question.
Really interesting. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
Yeah. This week here on Impact, I don't believe we really know anything.
No, and I think that's kind of the trend. I feel like we don't really usually know. They were telling us stuff during the weekly pay-per-views, but you don't really. I mean, there's not a reason for them to try to get you to like watch from a different show. So it's just kind of like, oh, we saw Randy Savage. You should probably watch next week.
Right.
And now remember, but if you remember correctly, we went from like 400 people in the Impact Zone to 850. And that's probably because of the talk of, hey, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, and Diamond Dallas Page, and everyone's here, and you can go see him for free. So it seems to be working.
Well, and I'm sure that having the show be a pay-per-view certainly helped as well.
Right. But also Impact last week was like sold out.
Impact was that much too?
Yeah, last week Impact was 850.
Oh, I thought it was just for Victory Road.
No, dude, it was like last week. So that's things are gonna start to pick up here. I think we're about to get into that upswing that we've been kind of talking about for a while. Where I think we're gonna explode soon.
Well, when you bring in such recognizable names, I think at some point you would hope that would happen.
Right.
So.
Well, Bob, let's mention the card from last week, and we'll go through that quick, and then we have some notes from last week, some follow-up, and then I got some other stuff going on, and I feel like these next 2 episodes are going to feel a little bit heavier than normal, and I will tell you why. That is because Turning Point is upon us. There's an observer that comes out essentially the day of or the day before that covers stuff from Impact. So I kind of I'm essentially going to be, over the next couple of weeks here, covering 3 total instead of just 2, or instead of just like 1 or 2. So we're going to have a little bit more condensed in, and that's just because after Turning Point, we're just going to talk about Turning Point. We're not going to really talk about Impact that just happened. We're kind of just going to keep going. And there's also a really interesting reason for that, but we'll get to that too. Okay, so on the last episode of Impact from November 19th, 2004, this is what went down. We had Jeff Jarrett and Kevin Nash and Scott Hall were ringside. He defeated J-Rock in 40 seconds. So that was a classic, as you could imagine. America's Most Wanted defeated the New York Connection by disqualification in 1 minute and 43 seconds. Team Canada defeated Jarrell Clark and Mikey Batts in 2 minutes 45 seconds. Johnny Bad defeated Raven in 2 minutes 40 seconds, and that was because of the gentleman that Bob mentioned, Diamond Dallas Page. He interfered again. There's some lots of heated confrontation going on with those two. Abyss defeated Kevin Jones in 1 minute 12 seconds. And then in the main event, we saw a 6-man tag team match. Kazarian, Kid Kash, and Michael Shane, or Matt Bentley, depending what you want to call him that day, defeated Hector Garza, Sanjay Dutt, and Sonny Siaki in 3 minutes and 36 seconds. And if I remember correctly, Kid Kash used a coconut on Sonny Siaki, which you can kind of see where this is all going, because all those people are kind of intertwined in this weird storyline with Jimmy Snuka and Roddy Piper, and it's just weird, man.
Do you think that we're going to see Snuka at Turning Point?
The only reason I'm going to say no is because he isn't even showing up on Impact or anything. I mean, or even in like a video or anything, you know what I mean? Whereas like Piper's there consistently at this point, I would say. At least enough that I feel like we have more of a chance to just see Piper, if anyone. But I wouldn't be surprised if they bring him back for the pay-per-view.
Right.
Although in 2004, I mean, are people really paying to see Jimmy Snuka on pay-per-view? No.
Probably not.
I mean, he still does have a WrestleMania match in him in a few years, but I didn't say it was good. I didn't say it was good. I'm just saying he's got one. So I don't think there's many other like major story things besides Raven with the challenge with Diamond Dallas Page. And we'll talk about the Kings of Wrestling's attack that they did. I believe it was on last week's episode. But before all of that, we have some notes to catch up on that were related to last week's episode to a degree, and also some backstage issues going on, and one that I really can't wait to talk about. I almost gave it to us last week, but it kind of talked about the show that we just were watching. So, but anyways, before that, Antonio Pena, his next AAA show is set for December 5th. So that's fun. And now you're probably wondering, well, okay, so what? Well, he wants to do one of those kind of matches. I don't even want to butcher the name because it's a Spanish name, but it's basically when like you team up with like an opponent. And so he wants like La Parka and Cybernetico to face off against Conan and a top foreign name. And they were talking about Mick Foley teaming with Conan, believe it or not.
Oh.
But he turned down the spot because he only does one match per year, and it would be in WWE. But the most likely candidate at this point would be Rikishi. So we'd see Rikishi and Conan versus La Parka and Cybernetico. And no, that is not La Park. It's La Parka.
So the fake one.
The fake one. And now, so okay, why is this interesting still? Well, if you remember on Impact, they did an injury angle with Conan and like 3 Live Crew, and at the last show, Conan he got injured with the hockey sticks. Team Canada took out 3 Live Crew with all the hockey sticks. So it's kind of insinuating that he will end up doing that AAA show and not be at Turning Point.
Oh, that's the way of writing him off.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see how that goes down. I think I have one other note about that show, but I'm just kind of going to go down my list because I'm going to get lost in this one. So this is kind of big news coming out of our last show because the company has gone into a major cost-cutting mode. And we're gonna be talking about this for the next couple shows here, but they were talking about moving the TV tapings to the weekend because they are far more people at Universal these days on weekends, since the weeknights until summer are going to be dead. This makes sense. We talked about this actually when we were switching from summer to fall. Now, however, on the November 16th show, they shocked everyone because they had 850 fans and turned people away, more than double what they've been doing. The only answer was that word must have got around, as me and Bob were just talking about here, that Hall, Nash, Page, Piper, and possibly Savage were there every week for free. So the move to weekends is being rethought out. There's also talk about saving money by doing 2 weeks worth of Impact per taping and turning Explosion into a highlight magazine show to alleviate the guys being unhappy about pay being cut in half again. The idea that they're going with is paying guys by the show. So if they appear on the Impact shows weekly, they'll get paid for 2 shows, even though only working 1 date. And that is one of the interesting notes that I was bringing up, because guess what, Bob? That starts today.
It does?
The show we're about to watch is a double tape show.
Oh, wow.
But we'll probably talk about that and mention it again, because there's some interesting stuff that goes along with that too. But before that, we got to talk about Randy Savage a little bit. Now, Randy Savage and TNA officials were back talking on November 10th. After Savage no-showed and came to terms a few days later that Savage would return, and when the November 16th TV show was over, they had officially announced Savage, Hardy, Styles versus Jeff Jarrett, Kevin Nash, and Scott Hall as the main event for the Turning Point pay-per-view on December 5th, which will also be from Universal Studios in Orlando. I don't know if they've officially said that yet, but I think it makes sense. Now, where this is interesting, because I think I kind of teased the fact that he was okay with the company, even though we didn't know he was going to appear on Impact. But the interesting part of all this is that Savage had demanded that Jimmy Hart stay away from him the entire time he's there, or he wouldn't come. Being that Hart is such an intimidating guy, I guess, is what Dave says. Hart had a nasty confrontation a year or so back on the Man Cow radio show with Savage when they argued about Hogan. Now, this next pay-per-view is a huge test because the buy rate will probably be down from the first one, but the question is whether or not it's down a little or a lot. They also announced Monty Brown versus Abyss in the singles match for the pay-per-view with some sort of stipulation called a Serengeti survival match. Now, I don't know if I remember hearing this, but they've been kind of feuding, and they must have at least said it, maybe over commentary or something. But we have officially Abyss versus Monty Brown. And if they didn't say it yet, they said it on website or something because it's being reported here. So, right. Surprise.
I didn't hear any kind of stipulation for that, though.
Well, the only way to win this match, Bob, is via pinfall, submission, or slamming your opponent on thumbtacks.
You're kidding.
No. So, right. We'll see. We'll see if... I'm sure they're going to talk about it on Impact here.
And they say that Vince Russo's gone.
Oh, we're going to talk about Vince Russo, too. Dude, I'm telling you, there's a lot going on. Continue on with Savage, though, because that was all kind of in the same vein there. Brian Adams, who is Savage's current running buddy, was on the Cowhead radio show in Tampa and criticized how the Jarretts treated Savage. He said they had snuck Savage into the building to keep his appearance a secret, but then Hogan walked in where fans could see he was there, and everyone made a big deal about Hogan being there when they knew Savage hated him. He said the Jarretts knew it was unprofessional. I guess Savage felt that if he was there, that nobody he doesn't like should be allowed there, or it's unprofessional. So it's pretty weird stuff, and kind of going off of the Hogan thing. And then I have another note about Savage. Hogan was apparently very popular with all the guys and was telling people that he's been talking with Vince, but Vince wants him to go to put guys over, and he doesn't want to do that. Hogan was told that for the first time because Vince's business is so bad, and because TNA is more high profile on FSN right now, that the ball is more in his court than Vince's. It's also noted that Savage was nice to everyone. Some were concerned about his apparently his mental health, because people he knew from the past and had worked with, he didn't seem to remember. which, that's kind of concerning, but, head drama, CTE. He was friendly to everyone and did say, for the sake of business, that if Hogan came in, he'd work now at getting along with him and would do a feud with him if asked.
Why such the change of opinion?
It's business, brother. I don't know.
Could you imagine that happening in TNA?
Fucking no. No fucking way. Okay, so now, by the time it happened, we're probably talking early to mid 2005 is when all right, let's just, because he's not going to come in, I feel like, by the end of the year and go for Turning Point. So we could probably get it for maybe the February show or something. Just like Hulk Hogan comes in, they're just working an angle, just chilling.
No way.
No fucking way.
There's no way.
I don't know, man. Anyway, now this was not on the show, I don't believe, but it was noted it happened at the tapings. So on the November 16th taping, Mike Tenay announced that fans could vote on the website whether they want to see the footage or not. Now, the footage, by the way, that we're talking about is this invasion angle thing that happened where the TNA guys went over. We talked about it. We can go on and say it's known as Cookie Gate. Everyone knows. It's a pretty infamous little thing. So you can vote if you want to see it or not. Now, Bob Carter has given the company the go-ahead to air the footage, even with the WWE threats. And, of course, fans will vote to see it. And, of course, it will air against WWE's wishes. TNA wants to turn it into a major issue, and I'm guessing that they will acknowledge it or possibly even read the WWE's letter threatening to sue on the air. So we will keep up with that. I think we're going to be hearing a lot more about that in the next couple of weeks.
Well, because I was going to say, I could have sworn I remember seeing it on television. So they do end up showing it. I just don't know when they do.
Oh, I remember when.
Okay.
We'll get there. Not my notes, but we'll get there. Okay, so I think so this is kind of figuring out the Conan thing. So Conan got taken out in the taping, doing the injury angle. They did the ambulance that took him out. So on the pay-per-view, it's being said currently that it's going to be BG James and Ron Killings defending the NWA tag team titles against Bobby Roode and Eric Young. Now, the original plan for this was actually a 6-man with Conan on one side and Scott D'Amore wrestling on the other. D'Amore and Team Canada are upset about that because logical booking would say that Team Canada should injure Conan, but this isn't about logical booking. It's about getting Jeff over, and that means that Hall and Nash get the big push. So I guess I'm mistaken about the injury thing because Scott Hall and Kevin Nash also attacked the 3 Live crew and like other people. I don't know. I took it like they did the hockey stick, but what do I know? I guess it was only like on his hand. I guess it's not really a big injury thing. Because remember they show him in the ambulance, and that's I think when they do the whole backstage attack thing.
Yeah.
But anyways, so and that means Hall and Nash get the big push, even in angles that shouldn't involve them. The injury angle is probably to keep him out for a few weeks and explain why he's missing the pay-per-view. And of course, as I mentioned, returning to AAA for the show that's on the same day as the pay-per-view. It's being noted here that Jeff Hardy's condition is worsening, whatever that means. He had big problems at the pay-per-view weekend, and on November 16th, he arrived at the building only 30 minutes before the show started. And it's even noted here, you are supposed to be there the night before.
So you have to be there the night before, and he got there a half hour before.
Yeah. Nothing like, being right on time.
Now, when they're saying his condition is not, or it's getting worse, are they trying to imply something here?
I'm not 100% sure. So how I am taking this is that basically it was, how do I say it? He's been late a lot. We've talked about that a lot in notes. So I look at it like they're, mentioning that. However, are they talking about any other issues he may have? Yes, I think probably.
That's what I think they're doing,
yeah. Without directly saying it. Yeah, I kind of do. Without directly saying it. Yeah, I kind of do. Okay, Bob, I got a heavy hitter for you here. I've been waiting to talk about this one for like 2 weeks now. So there's a BG James story that we talked about from November 9th, and apparently it was a lot more explosive. Now, I don't remember exactly what was said, but it doesn't matter because we're going to really expand on it right now. BG James was mad over a number of things. First, he was told that he'd make $350 for the Saturday autograph deal. So this is where we talked about, remember, people making less money.
Like $20.
Yeah, and you ended up being paid based on the photos you sold. So he was told that he'd make $350. However, nobody trusts that much of that because 3 Live Crew basically sold the same number of photos. Okay, but James got about $80. Conan got $40. And Ron Killings got $22 for the day's work.
Oh, my God.
And a lot of people have since said in the past week that the company does another fan fest that they will refuse to do it. There are no plans for the company to do another one before the December 5th show, at least as of this writing. Okay, so then all 3 were mad about being told about the run-in on Hall and Nash on pay-per-view. Well, Hall and Nash wouldn't sell crap for them and would lay them out in seconds. Then Nash was told to do a 4-minute interview. He went on for 15 minutes. This was on Impact.
Right.
And everyone's match time for the rest of the show was sliced. Instead of talking about their plan to screw Hardy, Nash went into a speech talking about what he had done in the past and never brought up any current TNA angles or wrestlers. 3 Live Crew's match was cut to 30 seconds. They got no interview time, and again were laid out by Team Canada. James flipped off Jeremy Borash from the ring. I guess blaming him since he's involved with creative. He went backstage and cut what Dave was told was among the best promos of 2004, except that it was backstage. He started complaining about even though that they are 3 of the best talkers in the company, they never get interview time, they always get laid out, and they never get retribution. He said how they are supposed to have a thug gimmick, yet they are portrayed as total pussies. He told Bob Ryder about how most of the guys are afraid to say anything because they're afraid they'll be sent home and not paid, but he doesn't care. He said that everyone in the company thinks America's Most Wanted the Naturals. Everyone thinks, yeah, and they just says insert your own remarks, and which I don't really understand that, and that's why they get pushed. So Dave didn't really let that one out right. I think it's just everyone thinks highly of them. He continued to cut a promo on Jarrett when he came out, and he says, quote, "We're supposed to be thugs, but we're portrayed like we're," and I'm not going to say it, it's a derogatory F word that he said in promos before. He said he then started yelling Harris and Storm for not being over, and that Storm disrespected Shane Douglas, who is an agent, when Douglas laid out a finish that Storm didn't like for the pay-per-view match, and Storm simply stormed out. I don't know if the pun was intended there or not, but he yelled also, because Skipper suffered a concussion in the first 90 seconds of the match, and they had to get all their shitting, the pre-planned series of moves there, instead of taking care of him. In particular, he was mad about Harris doing the finishing catatonic on the chair since Skipper was already knocked out. A lot of wrestlers went up to James afterward and told him that they thought he said what was needed to be said. Jarrett's main response to him was he believes heels need to get heat on him. That was the big takeaway there. So that was a lot.
Okay, so one of the first things that that whole long statement you had was that BG James feels like they are their characters are thugs. Now, I have interpreted it as like they're comedy wannabe like gangsters, not like fearful thugs.
Yeah, I mean, they're not bad guys. I don't know, to say that you're a thug.
No,
I feel like is like you're not a funny thug.
No, so
maybe that's his problem. Maybe that's his problem though. But they've always been comedy, even in the asylum. They were doing these vignettes, going to trailer parks and like talking funny stuff around people around the whole. You know what I mean? I don't know.
When I'm about to say is like, I don't. It's just a character thing here, but like you look at a guy like Homicide in Ring of Honor, he's hitting people with forks and hitting the cop killer, also known as the Vertebraker. Mm-hmm. Like that is a guy is a believable badass, and it's like, okay, yeah, he probably should get retribution or revenge or whatever.
Right.
But 3 Life Crew is just like, no. And if they are, you know, they say that they're the top like act, like top one of the, you know, some of the top 3 baby faces in the company. The job of a baby face, especially in this era where it's TV and monthly pay-per-views, is you get your ass kicked on TV to sell the match for pay-per-view, where you then get your retribution. And last time I checked, they are the tag team champions.
There you go.
So now if they get laid out on TV a bunch and then they lose the tag titles on pay-per-view, then maybe we have a different argument. But they're getting the retribution on the paid show, which is the whole point.
Yeah, it's kind of a very interesting situation. I have a feeling they won't be tag team champions for much longer. I don't know. Just a thought.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised by that.
You never know.
I don't think that they. I think, you know, with the Hall and Nash, whatever. I mean, yeah, BG, James, and Conan against them for the casual fan would probably be pretty cool. But I think at this rate, with how they're talking, I don't think they're going to do business.
I don't think so either. Nope, I don't either. But you never know, Bob, what will happen. Speaking of tag team matches and all that kind of fun stuff, Roddy Piper will not be wrestling on the December 5th pay-per-view.
Thank God.
Remember, there was rumors of him being in a tag match. As of now, ready for this match? It's not like we just saw it. As of now, the match is going to be Kid Kash, Frankie Kazarian, and Michael Shane versus Hector Garza, Sanjay Dutt, and Sonny Siaki. And Dave notes, so in other words, a match that means nothing. Mm-hmm. And they already did the match on the November 16th show when Kash hit Siaki with the coconut, and Tracy carried to the ring and got the pin. However, referee Mike Posey saw the coconut in the ring, restarted the match. Kash hit Siaki a second time with the coconut. Probably means that there was a screw up the first time, Dave says, and counted the pin. Jarrett, Hall, and Nash came out, beat up all 3 faces as well as Shark Boy, leading to the Savage coming out. And it's also noted here that Savage, who never took off his big coat again, punched Jarrett, and the heels left and continued to taunt Savage from the ramp. Dave notes that he hopes that they have Savage under contract, but figure that they don't. And I think the only other major last week note, I believe, that we didn't mention, I'm not going to read his notes on the card, but the opening, and by the way, I keep saying the 16th, it's a tape show. We all know, right? Yeah. Because it was on the 19th. So just in case anyone comments and is like, oh, it's not on November 16th. It was taped that day, whatever. Hall, Nash, Jarrett beat down Shark Boy, D-Ray 3000, and they did the lawn dart spot with Amazing Red.
Right. So
I think that's the only other major thing, besides him just kind of running down the card, which we already did. Oh, and also, we didn't mention it when we said the match, though. It's officially America's Most Wanted Triple X, but it's officially that the losing team must split up forever.
I mean, I've never liked that stipulation, just because they rarely hold true to it.
Come on. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Let me see here. Okay. So I know we've covered a lot already, but I got some more. And then I actually don't think there's as much more as I thought there was, which is good. But right now, as of this Observer writing, as it says in the title, is that TNA is struggling financially. So that's fun. Mm. And Dave writes a massive thing on it. I got a couple highlights I want to pull out, but really, It's a good read, but it's just too much to cover here on the podcast. He writes here that it was the biggest week in TNA history, and now from all signs, when it didn't pan out, the company is in critical condition. So, Bob, can you believe that here in 2004, TNA Wrestling might be done.
Closing up shop any day.
Closing up shop any day. They've been saying that since June 2002. Okay, so he says, here's the basic financial score. Panda Energy, in the 2+ years that it's been funding TNA, has lost approximately $15 million on the venture. This came on the heels of the $1.6 million Health South lost in getting the company off the ground. So that's kind of a number he's been giving us. Now, while the company did what is being estimated by cable sources as 30,000 to 35,000 buys for Victory Road, which should bring the company anywhere from $385,000 to $450,000 in revenue, that only cuts monthly losses down to about $550,000 to $615,000 for November. These numbers are insane, aren't they?
Yeah, that's just not great.
Basically, he's saying that he thinks that numbers will drop for Turning Point, although probably not drastically. But regardless, they're in lots of trouble here. Now, and kind of to play off of this a little bit more, unfortunately, the first set of ratings that we got last week, which were based on overnights, which still fell a little short, didn't hold up. Now, you're wondering, what the fuck ratings am I talking about? Well, we're talking about the best damn wrestling event, period. The final numbers were, the original 8 p.m. airing on November 10th did a 0.26 rating. Now, the show averages a 0.13 on Wednesday nights in its first run. So, best damn sports show. Now, on the 11 p.m. airing, it did a 0.18, which it usually averages a 0.12. And now on the second night, November 11th, the first showing did a 0.18. It usually averages a 0.13. And the 11 p.m. showing did a 0.14, and it usually averages a 0.12. And at those numbers, the idea of getting a Monday primetime show is said to be highly unlikely by FSN sources, which is disappointing.
No, it's not disappointing. You don't want that.
No, I know. I'm saying it's disappointing that they're not doing well. I don't want them on freaking Monday right now. Are you kidding me?
You can't do that. The only way you would do on a Monday is if you did it at like 7 or like at 8, like 8 to 9, and then like Raw starts at 9.
Well, and I think that they were doing is they wanted to try to get a lead in, so they'd have like a half-hour overlap or something like that.
Yeah, but you don't want to have any overlap.
No, it's probably not a great idea.
It'd be horrible.
As he continues in this whole thing, he notes that there are so many different things going on right now. The Jarretts and the Carters don't see eye to eye. In particular, Jeff Jarrett and Dixie Carter. It's being noted that Jerry Jarrett has clearly undermined Jeff, although it's debatable. It's a debatable point whether it's for the good of the company or not. Jerry has apparently felt Jeff's ideas about wrestling are too heavily influenced by Vince Russo, to the point where Jerry can't steer him back to a logical wrestling direction. Now, Russo is totally gone from the company and has confided to friends that he thought TNA was done as soon as Dixie Carter got pregnant, which is, of course, a very a poor way to look at things, but it was said. Now, this is going to come to us as a surprise here. This is pretty big news. Jerry's move was to replace Jeff Jarrett as Booker with, that's right, Bob, you guessed it, the American Dream Dusty Rhodes. Now, to the surprise of many, Dutch Mantel still has his job and will be Rhodes' assistant, although nobody was taking bets on how long that would last. Dave notes that Jeremy Borash, and he lists Bill Banks, but I don't know if I know Bill Banks being here or not, but what do I know?
Wait. So they did do this?
Yeah, and I'll just tell you right now, the show we're about to watch is of Dusty's first night as Booker.
I thought you were saying he wanted to. They did.
Oh, yeah, he's replaced. Dusty's officially the Booker.
So Jeff Jarrett is no longer booking?
At least not... No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
Holy shit. Okay, wow. Context is huge now. So this is this show we're about to watch right now today is Dusty's first show.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got that in a note, whether on this week or next week's episode. I'm not sure which, but
it's very important to note here that on Jeff Jarrett's podcast, he has said that Dusty hated the X Division. Okay, that very, very crucial context, because now I'm really curious to see how the X Division plays out, because he hated it.
That's scary. So like he notes here, Jeremy Borash, and he says Bill Banks, but Bob, do you know if Bill Banks is here? Because I don't know if that's right or not, but whatever. It's also noted somewhere else that Terry Taylor is giving input, but whatever. Alvarez notes that. Bill Banks
might have been there.
Okay. I just thought that,
I think we're maybe thinking like Bill Shaw. Like Bill Shaw would not be there, but Bill Banks probably would have been.
I don't know. Maybe I'm thrown off. But okay, so between Alvarez and Meltzer, Borash, Bill Banks, Terry Taylor, at least within those three, are giving input to Dusty. But when the change was made on November 19th, the show we're about to watch, it was clearly Dusty's direction from that point forward. So let's keep our eyes peeled.
Okay, so if Dusty's booking it, how long before Jarrett is about to lose a title? I can't believe that Dusty would want Jarrett to be his champion.
I don't know. It's a really great question. So, and I think, this is the last note that kind of falls within that thing here, but as noted last week, the official decision was made this week of going bi-weekly tapings to impact to cut costs. So I kind of teased you with that. And numerous other cost-cutting measures are expected. The company tapes 2 shows on November 23rd and will tape again on December 7th and December 21st. Explosion will turn into this magazine format show. It is expected that wrestlers will be paid per show they appear on, so the guys who work and travel to TV, every show won't be cut in pay. They will actually have an easier schedule, only having to travel every other week. Now, still given the finances, Dave says that it's the right option for now, and it can always be changed if needed. If the company will pay wrestlers per show that they appear on and their incomes aren't sliced in half, then it's largely a benefit. Yeah. So pretty fun stuff there. It's also, this is kind of more of a follow-up for the last couple shows, but it's noted that Scott Hall saw himself on TV, saw how old that he looked, and decided to dye his hair back black, which we noted for Victory Road.
Yeah.
Versus thing. Now Nash, on the other hand, didn't, and there are people who feel that it shows that Nash doesn't really care because he showed up all gray and looking 50 years old, which I think is so funny.
That's great.
I love that note. Regarding reports of problems with Bob Ryder and TNA over money owed, the story from this week was actually something from about 3 months ago that has been since settled. So, however, it has been remarked that Ryder has been very different ever since BG James and the tirade on him in front of everyone a few weeks ago. Which, I guess maybe I'd be a little different too.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez. Let me just check, Bob. I think I have one more thing. I'm just triple checking. Let's see. Alvarez kind of goes on a little bit more about the Dusty situation. So he notes that just before going to press that Dusty Rhodes had been taking over the head booker position in TNA from Jeff Jarrett. This clearly means something huge went down internally. What exactly that is, I have no idea yet. This did not come as a complete surprise, as there has been talk for some time that Jerry Jarrett was trying to wrestle control of the company from his son and put Dusty in charge. But the belief was that some inside Panda, including Dixie Carter, were against it. And this is where he mentions Terry Taylor and Jeremy Borash. And the only other note before this last one, which is another Randy Savage note, Bob, is he notes about the Mick Foley not being able to appear for AAA is actually because of the Universal incident that WWE basically said that there's no way they were going to allow any of their guys to work any shows that TNA talent was working. So Mick Foley says, I'm not wrestling anywhere besides WWE. This is reporting that Mick called WWE to get it cleared. And then they were like, well, no, you're not working with TNA talent.
Yeah, but we've seen WWE talent on the same show as TNA talent before.
but that was before the incident.
Oh, before the cookie.
The Universal Studio incident.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Weird stuff. I don't know. We'll see. And my final note, Bob, before we get into the show, is I just there. Wait, there it is. Okay, my last Randy Savage note for now. Because his shit gets more and more interesting every time his name gets brought up in these observers. Randy Savage's deal is apparently for 8 dates.
Okay, well, we've already used 2, so now we're at 6.
6 dates and Turning Point.
So now we're at 5.
5. Now, his demands to return, which TNA apparently agreed with him against the wishes of some in management, thinking that they were ridiculous, were, are you ready for this? These are Randy Savage's things. Limo service from his home in Tampa to Orlando for every show. 2 security guards at $1,000 per night, which he's using Ron Harris and Brian Adams, which is more than all of the top wrestlers in the group are earning, for the record.
Whoa. What are you talking about? $1,000 for the security guards is more than what any wrestler is earning?
Per night, I think is the...
What the hell? Okay.
At least that's what's said here.
Now, what are Hall and Nash making a night?
They might be different. They might be different.
What the fuck? Jeff Hardy, he's not making $1,000? What was he making? Like $750?
I don't know.
$500? What the hell?
I don't know. And also, as we've noted already, Jimmy Hart could not only be nowhere near him, but also couldn't be in the truck or on the headsets when he was on television at all.
Why does he hate Jimmy Hart so much?
Because of this thing with Hulk Hogan, I guess. Hart, of course, does not work in the truck to begin with. Now, when Randy Savage was out, he had Harris watching gorilla position to make sure that Hart wasn't there. And in the 85-degree weather, Savage only took his jacket off once. Those who saw him said that his arms looked shriveled up and that either he's going to work with a long sleeve shirt on or have some very quick changes if he's actually going to wrestle. Savage also demanded his own private dressing room, and I guess that's to make sure that nobody potentially saw the physical changes that Dave just wrote about.
That's sad.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Because, I'm sure his arms are not nearly as big as they were in 1999.
I can't imagine why that is.
No idea.
Yeah, I would have never guessed.
Do you think, if it's so bad, do you think Randy could have been an X Division guy?
Holy, maybe. Going off the top? Dropping some elbows?
Yeah.
Wow, man. There's a lot. I do even have a note about a Randy Savage interview, but we can talk about that during the show, along with a bunch of other things. I have a bunch of stuff that I'm saving for the show, even. So, like I said, man, this was a heavy hitter kind of show, but there's a lot going on. But there's a lot
going on backstage. I mean, that's a lot of information,
dude. That's a lot. And also, it's important to know, and I'll just tell you right now before we really get into this. I don't have explosion notes for this week or next because of this double taping. It does not appear that they are filming any matches because if they're doing this magazine style format, they're probably just using clips and stuff like that. So there's no explosion, no dark match notes. In fact, in the notes of the what happened, there's a match missing. That's weird. Like a match that we're going to see on Impact tonight. It's not even on the thing. Mind you, I don't really look at the results. I skim for names so I can get rid of them on my screen. But one name was not there.
For what are you talking about?
Like one of the matches that we're about to see on Impact isn't in the Observer
in his
breakdown, which I thought was weird. But once again, I try not to read too closely at it because I do try to not spoil things. Plus, I do it at 12:30 at night, so I forget by the time we record, anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, no explosion notes, so we can pretty much get right into this.
All right. Well, let's get the November 26th, 2004 edition of Impact started. The first one that was booked by Dusty Rhodes and his minions of people, including Terry Taylor, Dutch Mantel, and Bill, what was
Bill Banks and Jeremy Borash.
Bill Banks and Jeremy Borash. All right. It's a new era. Vince Russo's out.
Dude.
Jeff Jarrett's out. It's Dusty time, baby.
It's a pretty big deal. I mean, it's kind of crazy because Vince Russo essentially is done at Victory Road. He's there, but he's done. And I would say his booking, he's kind of done by then anyway.
Yeah, but so Vince Russo was writing the show, and then for like what 2 or 3 weeks Jarrett was, and they kicked him out and went with Dusty.
I think that Jarrett's been writing it with Russo for a while.
Oh,
because Russo said in interviews that like it's kind of Jarrett doing it anyways. I think, and some of the ones that we've even covered on the show. And I have a Vince Russo interview to talk about too. But it's so. Yeah, it's almost like Jarrett and Dutch Mantel were alone for a couple weeks, and that's when Jerry Jarrett swooped in and was like, "Nope," and it lasted essentially 2-3 weeks, and then here we go.
Right. I mean, because I remember Russo would pitch his ideas, and they would like change it on him or something. So yeah,
right.
I think that trio was a thing, and now they're just going to Dusty. All right. Yeah, that's. I mean, I had no idea that was even a thing. So that makes the show. In the next couple of shows, quite interesting for me to see just the difference of style. The runtime for this is approximately 51 minutes and 29 seconds. If you want to watch along with us, head over to the Impact Plus app, or if it's in your own personal collection, that should work as well. I'm going to count down from 3, and when I say play, that's when we're going to hit the good old play button, and we're going to live watch this episode of Impact, November 26, 2004. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, play.
This is TNA. We see this thing every single week, but I still like it.
Yeah, I like it too. Oh, speaking of the ambulance thing.
They're showing the attack. Oh, yeah. See, they say it on commentary right there. Kings of Wrestling sent 3 Live Crew to the hospital. I guess I didn't quite make that connection right away when we saw this, and I just assumed in the notes, like I said, I assumed it was the Team Canada thing, but they do say it right there. Oh, dude, I forgot the Kings of Wrestling were on commentary the entire show last week.
Yeah, they were.
And that's right. Dusty basically told anyone who wants to, you have full access to stop the Kings of Wrestling. Dude, listen. They're Serengeti Survival. Okay, yeah. We totally missed it. Missed it.
What the hell?
I really do not, but I do remember them kind of brawling real quick there.
And I remember the teasing of the tax, yeah. Of
course, Kings of Wrestling out here beating up the guys who are supposed to be in this really random match at Turning Point.
Yeah, they're posing like Elvis there. That's right.
And here come Jeff Hardy and AJ looking real cocky for some reason. And then all of a sudden, on freaking Impact, dude, Randy Savage came out. Freaking wild.
You can definitely tell that Randy's arms are kind of small, but it looks like it's the 1992 version Randy Savage. It's not that bad.
It's hard to tell. I mean, you can definitely tell he's smaller. It's hard to tell with the jacket on, but yeah.
He's way smaller than fucking.
Oh, what's this?
Right.
Amazing Red Sanjay D. Ray 3000, Shark Boy, Chris Sabin, and Styles. There's the Kings of Wrestling locker room. Do not enter.
It is AJ.
Jarrett Hall Nash. Oh shit! Talk about ordering chicken and broccoli. Kevin Nash is in a towel.
AJ Styles just decked Scott Hall, and then all of them just ran. And yeah, Kevin Nash was in a towel.
We almost saw his ball sack. His legs were spread, Bob. We almost saw Kevin Nash's, like...
I'm sure he was wearing shorts.
Nah, dude. We almost saw Wiener.
I don't know if you're going to be...
I don't know, dude. Big Sexy's ball sack is hanging out on Impact. He goes, yeah, we'll order the broccoli cheddar, and turns around here we are in the Impact Zone. I do not have a crowd number, but we are looking full. Whoa, someone's screaming at the camera. Mike Tenay going down the card. What's going on for Turning Point? WWE fears TNA footage. Fun little sign there. Get our opening pyro here. And let's see who's coming out. It sounds like the New York Connection. Well, there's Trinity. Yep, there's Johnny Swinger, Glenn Gilberti. So it looks like we got potentially some tag team action to open us up here on Impact. Oh, America's Most Wanted. Little rematch. Oh, Dusty's got a very interesting announcement to make, they're saying.
I'm the booker, baby. Is that what he's going to say?
Opening up on some tag team action, Bob. A rematch.
Rematch from when? Explosion?
Nope, it's the New York Connection. Remember, there's just a disqualification last week.
There was? Oh, yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah.
And we're starting right from it. The America's Most Wanted, they start hot. They don't care. They don't lock up. Who the fuck needs a lockup? Harris with a Thez press and some punches in on Gilberti. Leaping clothesline. I don't think I got any notes about anyone in this match. Oh, we did already see Kevin Nash. I could tell you that apparently he's going to be heading to AAA to work a show that I don't know how to pronounce correctly.
To AAA, that's weird.
Isn't that weird? I don't know. I thought that was really interesting.
Double clothesline here by the NYC to control Chris Harris. Swing over some knee lifts to the chest. Gilberti's got, like, I don't know how I feel about Gilberti's pants.
I think they had these pants on last week as well. They're very shiny.
Yeah, that's why I don't know if I like it.
But they do match each other, except swingers just don't look as shiny because they're white.
Well, I think he's wearing jeans, isn't he?
Is his jeans? They might be.
I think it's his white jeans.
But they match because they each have their name in like the opposite color. No, those aren't jeans.
Are you sure?
Yeah, look how shiny. You can tell they're shiny.
Yeah, no, but
they're styled like that, but they're wrestling pants. Yeah, that's the style, Bob. He's trying to make it look like that. He's tricking you.
Well,
let him choke Harris in the bottom there with his foot. And look, he knocks Storm off the apron. Storm's pissed. He bricks it up. Oh my God, he's going crazy.
Who was? Oh yeah, he's beating up Swinger like it's Shane Douglas pitching him a bad finish for a match.
And he stormed out of the room.
Double side Russian on Harris. That's gonna get a 2 count for Gilberti.
Hey, this is nothing to do with the tag team, but speaking of NYC, New York City here, it's being noted that TNA is in danger of not being seen much in New York City because Time Warner Cable, as things were planned at press time, was going to drop Fox Sports Net New York on November 24th, although that deadline has since been moved up to January 20th. This was scheduled to happen in August after talks between the cable system and network fell apart, but State Attorney General Elliot Spitzer brokered an interim deal that just expired.
Wow.
The more you know.
Well, at least Elliot Spitzer did something good.
He kept TNA around for a little while.
Yeah. Saving my Fox Sports and that. Too bad he was busy, buying hookers and shit.
Ooh. Oh, look, Storm comes in. He's on fire. Ducks the clothesline for Swinger, and somehow Swinger flew all the way over the top rope.
Yeah,
when I wish went back.
Gilberti
whips him in the corner
to the floor. Oh,
I thought he was going to roll through.
By Storm. That was weird. Slingshot cross body onto Swinger. Storm is a house of fire. Top rope, flying cross body onto Gilberti, but he only gets a 2 count. Gilberti's able to kick out. Swinger trips Storm running the ropes. This match has gone on far longer than I expected it to, as Harris just decked Swinger. Inseguri by Storm to Gilberti.
Crowd's on fire. Bob, I noted already, but just so you know, I don't have any crowd numbers, but it was looking full when they were showing the crowd. Death sentence.
Death sentence to Gilberti. That should be it. And that's a clean win for AM.
Nice.
We find the defendants guilty.
I like that finisher. I like the name of that finisher.
That is a good finisher. I can't wait to see Scott Hall take that move and AMW win the tag team titles in probably 3 months.
Okay, we're with Dusty Rhodes.
The Booker.
You've been an Impact player your entire career. 2 weeks out of Turning Point. And he said it again. He said Mount Cincinnati to make an impact. Oh, AJ Styles. Oh my God. AJ Styles, Scott Hall tonight in the main event. And then next week on Impact, Monty Brown, Jeff Jarrett for the title.
Oh my God. Dusty, what are we doing? That's our first ever world title match on Impact, right? Oh my God.
2 weeks ago, WWE came to the home of TNA Wrestling Universal Studios in Orlando to shoot a television commercial.
No way.
As an act of goodwill, TNA wrestlers attempted to present them with cookies and balloons during their visit. TNA Wrestling had planned to air the footage of our wrestlers expanding the olive branch today on Impact. WWE to TNA, air this footage and we will sue you, blank blank. The WWE legal department has given TNA Wrestling 7 days to relinquish this footage. We have two choices. Hand over the footage to WWE or air the footage Sunday, December 5th at TNA's Turning Point pay-per-view. We'd rather let you decide.
Okay.
Log on to TNAWrestling.com to vote now.
That's funny. So obviously we'll be seeing that Turning Point.
There we go. That's awesome, dude.
That is pretty good.
I like how they're like, yeah, they said they're going to sue us. Well, we're going to show you.
Yeah.
I love it.
Tune into the pay-per-view. I mean, that's not a bad approach to get more people to buy your pay-per-view either, really.
No.
Now, if they were to troll us and have it not be the footage, that'd be pretty bad.
That'd be a bummer.
Yeah.
We have a highlight. Go ahead.
This is a video package promoting the cage match between Triple X and AMW.
And I get that again, wrestle. Well, I might as well get this Vince Russo interview out of the way as we're kind of watching a highlight package. He apparently appeared on several radio shows this past week, which we probably saw. We already talked about some of it, but on the Get in the Ring radio, he said that he was never happy in TNA and chose that over WWE because he was friends with Jarrett and wanted to write TV, and WWE only wanted him to be a consultant. He claimed he never wrote one show for TNA, which, of course, is completely absurd.
That's ridiculous.
He said working with Dusty was agonizing. And he said that he wrote the sex angle. And look, we're getting a match card picture, so I had to stop real quick because that's pretty awesome. And he worked the wrestlers by never showing up in the locker room and only going out to do his segments during that, which, that's always great. And then he talks about...
That's hilarious that he's trying to say that he never wrote a show. That's just...
I know. My other favorite part about this, where this interview lies, so Alvarez kind of pieces out, just like Dave Meltzer. If you've ever looked at an Observer, it's like Mexico, Japan, WWE, TNA. Right. Well, Alvarez puts this in the section, Christ. And not only is it a Vince Russo interview, there's also notes about Sting in his movie, The Moment of Truth, which it just talks about reviews, so it's nothing, or else I would have brought it up probably. But so Sting and Russo are in the Christ section of the Figure 4 wrestling.
That's great.
Here comes Michael Shane, or is he?
Or is it Matt Bentley? Let's see. He's got Tracy with him. And it's Michael Shane.
Okay, I'm dropping Matt Bentley for now.
Yeah, it's got to be Michael Shane. We're back to Michael Shane.
Hell, Sabin.
Michael Shane and Chris Sabin, it looks like.
Tanae's saying that the Fox Sports Net said it's inappropriate to air what WWE actually said to them. So they had to censor it, but you can vote. Don West, I gotta know what's on that footage.
And now we're getting is this a three-way?
I don't know. So Petey Williams is out here.
It is. I think this is weird. So you're gonna have a three-way involving Petey and Sabin, and then just throw Michael Shane in there?
I don't like it.
You know what's gonna happen here, right?
He's gonna hit him with the cradle shock.
I think Sabin's gonna counter the Destroyer with the cradle shock and pin Petey.
And they got to put Michael Shane here just to like make it seem like it's not the same match.
It's not a pay-per-view match. Yeah.
Now Shane and Petey are kind of working together here,
as they should.
Irish whip.
Kicks Shane.
Oh.
Flip. Clothesline to Shane. Blocks a kick by Petey. Go behind. Elbow. Shane Douglas is... Watch out, Shane. Because the last time they opened the door, they got punched. They might be coming after you.
Right. He's outside of the Kings of Wrestling's locker room. They refused to answer the door. That's what today was getting in his headset.
If I were to open the door and then get punched, I'm not going to open the door.
I love that he opened the door, Styles punched him, he fell all the way back to Kevin Nash, who was in a towel and tanning sunglasses, sitting on the couch behind him. And then they just ran.
Well, I like how there was like 6 or 7 X Division guys, and they just all ran away.
I thought that was a hilarious segment.
Yeah.
AJ and Scott Hall. Now, we talked about the thought of them not even having the Outsiders wrestle at all before the pay-per-view, and here we are, Bob, 2 weeks away. Scott Hall's fighting.
Okay, it's a dangerous thing to do, because if he looks bad in the ring, that's gonna impact your potential buys. As Michael Shane just had a leg drop over the middle rope on this Sabin there.
Well, I think the interesting thing here is we've heard these talks of like, well, Scott Hall looked so bad in the video and all this stuff, which from what we've seen, he doesn't look bad.
No.
However, if that is the case and people are thinking that, why is he the one who's wrestling?
Well, I feel like out of the two, like Hall would be more open to wrestling than Nash.
Well, I know. I'm just like logically, that's just how I'm not sure.
I mean, realistically, who is even a good matchup for Nash? Like, nobody. No. There's nobody even on the same, like, it would just be weird.
I think that Styles could be fun just because he could, like, run all over the place and Nash couldn't catch him. And I think that could have some fun things going on. Yeah. I think that it could probably bring him to having a decent little match. And he could throw him around like crazy. So, like, some kind of... And I just say Styles because he's, like, the X Division guy, you know? But
right.
The Can-Am Wrestling School.
Petey hit a side Canadian leg sweep there just a couple of seconds ago. Now they're trading forearms. Clothesline by Sabin. There's another clothesline to Shane. A forearm for Petey. And then Shane cuts him off with a kick to the gut. He's going to... Well, he got countered. Petey kicks Shane in the corner. Oh, no.
Oh, the top rope, the Canadian Destroyer. No, oh my God. Sabin just rolled up, Hurricane Run at him, and then German suplex on Michael Shane for the cover. No.
That was nice.
That was really cool. Going for the Destroyer off the second rope.
Shane saves Petey from the cradle shock.
Michael Shane going for... a backbreaker.
Over the shoulder backbreaker.
Yeah. Oh, Petey clotheslines.
Uh-oh. Here we go. Is he going to hit the Destroyer? No. See, I fucking knew it. He hit it. One.
Third time.
And he pinned him. That's exactly what I said was going to happen. That's so predictable.
That's a pretty big deal, though. Even Pyro?
Pyro. That's a bit much.
He's countered it every single time he's put into that move.
Yeah, but here's the thing: they're putting too much onto Sabin here that he's not going to win the title.
We're going backstage to Shane Douglas. What the fuck?
That's Raven?
Raven wearing that weird helmet. He's talking to two, like, druid guys. History has always been seen through the eyes of the winners. What the heck? Okay, that was bizarre. That was weird. Well, we're back with another highlight package. So, Bob, I'm back with another interview. And this time it's with Randy Savage.
Oh, boy.
He did a radio interview. Pretty much the very first thing he said things were great in the locker room. As we know. That might not be true. He said that he wanted to give young wrestlers the rub and that TNA could be the next cool thing. He said that he would be willing to wrestle Hogan in the ring, but wasn't down for having unscheduled summit meetings.
That's fair.
Which is a very big hint at why the fuck did he show up at Victory Road?
Right.
Which I really enjoyed that.
So Savage saying that, he knows that he made a boatload of money with Hogan.
How can you not?
And if I'm telling you right now, man, if in 2005 TNA was like Hulk Hogan against Randy Savage, I'm fucking buying that show. There's no way I'm not buying it.
Here we are, back. Wait. December 5, Turning Point. We will see this man, Raven. Diamond. Okay, it's official.
It's official.
Dusty gave TNA a paper before, and Bob, I'll mention Raven's match here is the one that was not on my notes.
Okay. That is, I believe that's Vordell Walker, who I've said, I've mentioned, I think every time we've seen him, that he's the one that knocked out Rick Steiner backstage at the indie show. That's what he's best known.
Oh, listen. The music's playing. It's me. It's DDP. We have not even... No,
is that why it's not in your notes? Because it doesn't even happen?
I guess. Technically the bell rang.
It did ring. Yeah, but nothing's happened.
But nothing's happening.
That's the easiest $100 Vordell Walker ever earned. Raven looks a lot better.
Yeah, he does. What about me?
The timer for the match is still going.
What about DDP? So you wonder why I'm here, Raven?
Oh, yeah, we're going to find out.
Well, let's hear it. It's got to be about my girl, Kimberly. Talking about how you made me. Okay, the match thing's gone. So the match is done.
The match is gone.
I love that shot. Raven, and you see Diamond Dallas Page in the background on the screen. I would do anything for you. Don't walk away from me. He's standing on the announce table. I remember when me and you trained so hard to be the heavyweight champion of the world. We wanted it so bad we could taste it. And Diamond Dallas Page says, well, I was the one who tasted it. Not one time, not two time, but three time.
Well, technically Raven was a world champion before DDP was. He was ECW world champion. I'm just throwing it out there.
It's just facts. Hogan, Sting, the Nature Boy. I also don't like that he's calling him Rave. Listen, Rave.
Yeah.
You might as well call him Scott.
I agree. He might as well call him Scott. It'd probably be better if he did call him Scott.
How are Raven standing? I don't give a fuck. We partied, boy. Me, you, and Kim.
Oh no.
Oh, fuck, Bob.
He fucked Kim.
No way. Raven's like, don't know what you're talking about. There's nowhere he could go without people talking behind his back. And you wonder why I'm here. I'm walking around with a knife in my back with your hand on it. And you wonder why I'm here. He said, do I take it personal? And Raven was about to cut him off, and he's like, hey. You twisted it, and you broke the shake off. Raven's like, okay. This isn't about Kim. And he laughs. You want to talk about what's important? Let's talk about Eric Watts. Tell people what you're really mad about. So many people have stuck so many knives in your back. How do you know which one's mine? Raven's screaming that he should have been the world champion, not Paige. Some people can't be saved. Some people won't be saved. And Paige, some people, they need to be saved. And he's pointing right at him. Welcome to the Terror Dome. Quote the Raven. Nevermore. Oh, we're about to see some action?
No, you're not gonna go.
Oh, no.
The droids?
Hooded men. Raven's thugs. Wait, what is happening? Diamond Cutter. One's up on the top.
Yeah,
gets crotched. Oh, Diamond Cutter from the middle rope. I don't know. If DDP's hitting all these Diamond Cutters so nonchalant, I think he's going to be able to work just fine.
It sure seems it. I think... So we really didn't learn anything from that. He was just saying, "Oh, you didn't make me, and like I was world champion and you weren't." So like Raven's jealous,
right?
Now we get a video package promoting
the match that we just yeah. Well, we're back from commercial. Let's keep that in mind.
Right.
So,
right.
Raven knows exactly why I'm here, and so Raven does apparently, but no one else does because DDP mentions Kimberly Page. Raven mentions Eric Watts.
Yeah, I don't know what the
What the fuck. Yeah, really weird. Well, we're hyping up Turning Point more, Bob, and apparently, if you've noticed, they haven't really been pushing live ticket sales for Turning Point like they were for Victory Road. And that's because apparently they're shipping their audience in. The live audience will mostly be troops from MacDill Air Force Base in Tampa. And Dave notes that he's heard that they're expecting 500 servicemen, which would leave maybe 200 seats for the fans. And they've already told regulars at the building about the pay-per-view being there, so they figure that might be enough to pack the place. And on that note, here comes Kash.
Kid. Cash. Damn, Pyro.
If it wasn't for Jimmy Snuka, Kid Kash wouldn't have a job in the wrestling business.
I don't know about that.
He's got a coconut and he's just held it up to a kid.
Is that going to be his new, like, weapon?
I guess.
The freaking
Here comes Hector Garza.
He's not about to beat Hector Garza with a coconut shot, is he?
He 1,000% is. If you guys are following along, we're at 27 minutes and 39 seconds. And I still have a lot of fun notes for you, including the February pay-per-view name, rumor February pay-per-view name. I also have a really gross fact for you that I'm going to hold on to for a little bit here that you're probably going to want to vomit with.
Am I really going to want to vomit?
I wanted to when I read it.
It's not a good sign.
We got to lock up here. We got the scroll at the bottom talking about our matches for Turning Point. Guys, we're covering Turning Point in just 2 weeks. Freaking nuts. Shane Douglas still trying to talk to Kings of Wrestling.
He's very persistent.
He's he's banging on it. Looking at his watch. Open the fuck up, bro.
You know what's funny? Doesn't Shane Douglas like hate them? Because of the whole like WWF stuff?
Probably.
So it's very realistic that he might want to punch them just like AJ Styles did.
I can't believe that Shane Douglas is still just like an interviewer.
I think it's weird that he went from wrestler, he went from tormenting Raven to a feud with Michael Shane to now being an interviewer, like just talking to Raven, no big deal.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to mention, yeah, that was nice. I was going to mention the Raven, like Druid guys only bug me because remember with Abyss, there's like a masked guy, a hooded guy.
Right.
And it's like the same outfit. And I don't really like dig that.
Well, I mean, I feel like TNA has a tendency of repeating the same storyline within the show. Especially later years.
Slams Hector Garza down.
On the springboard moonsault, but he missed the double springboard.
Sensational.
Garza going to the top rope. Who's coming out?
Michael Shane and Kazarian.
Yeah. Garza drops Kash over the top turnbuckle face first. Slams Kash to the mat.
Tracy grabbing Mike Posey. Hector Garza's, he's watching his back. Oh, Kash slips out, pushes him. Oh, he takes down both Kazarian and Michael Shane from the apron.
Kash going for
Whoa! Oh,
what
shit.
The fuck was that?
It's supposed to be a roll through. Hector Garza was supposed to flip up.
Yeah, but I think that kind of still looked okay.
It looked chaotic enough that it still works. Okay, so they're beaten down. So apparently Kid Kash is aligned with Kazarian and Michael Shane. Yeah. He was like, I want to hit him with this coconut, so pick him up, please. Wait, someone's running out. Shark Boy, D-Ray, and Sanjay, and Amazing Red for the save. The TNA locker room stepping up again. I don't know, dude. Dusty hates X Division. Look, they just keep running out.
I mean, yeah. Did all those guys get paid for just that appearance now on that show?
Yeah. We're seeing another Turning Point thing. And Bob, good news. Our friend who made this, the guy who made this, David Zahadi, well, he's going to actually be staying through December 17th now. And at this point, he's planning on returning at the end of January. He's got a book coming out, and he wants to promote it. However, Sahadi is loyal to Jeff Jarrett as a friend, so if Jarrett doesn't have power, that would put his return in question. We're seeing absolutely beautiful match graphics here. Oh, look at this. Look at Randy Savage on the match graphic, dude.
Look at that.
Is that not the weirdest shit you've ever seen in your entire life?
No, it's fucking weird.
This looks like one of those match graphics like someone would make on like Twitter and like share with you, and then you'd be like, "Ha, yeah, it got me."
Oh, yeah, it says like not happening on the bottom.
Yeah, that was good. Well, there's another fucking package. So, Bob, another note, because why not? The name proposed for the February pay-per-view is Against All Odds.
Oh, boy.
Which is actually really funny because we never got the rumored name for the January pay-per-view.
So they skipped a month?
Yeah, isn't that weird?
That's funny.
Let's see. Do we got anything else for you during this? I think I only got my one other thing left, and I'm kind of waiting for the person to show up on screen. Yeah, I only have one more note, Bob. And it's my gross fact. Oh, look at Conan saying that Kings of Wrestling separated his shoulder. Who's taking his place?
I think he's teasing who would take his place. Wouldn't it just be Ron?
Yeah. Wait. Team Canada. I don't know. Bobby Roode's coming out now.
Oh, okay.
He's just saying, oh, you know why? Because technically it's BG. Yeah, technically it's BG and Conan. They're not doing the Freebird role. So I think they are saying that Ron Killings is just going to be in his spot.
That's what I would assume, yeah.
And here comes the truth right now.
Hammering away, trading right hands with Roode.
We just heard from K-Dub.
Head scissor takeover by Ron.
That's the unity. That's the togetherness that the Three Life Crew has been giving to us, Bob. Nice spine buster by Bobby Roode. We call him the power man of Team Canada. Bob, have you noticed that poor Ruffy Silverstein did not last in Team Canada?
I did notice that.
They did it for like a show or two.
Yeah.
And then we're like...
Have you noticed that I've failed to do indie notes for any of the matches so far?
You know, that's really funny because I was going to mention it in the first match and then I just forgot.
Yeah. Well, it's not a whole lot that I'm missing. And maybe I should just start doing indie notes before I watch the show, but whatever. Petey Williams, who we saw in that three-way, he teamed up with Delirious on November 19th, losing to Matt Seidel and Nate Webb for IW Mid-South in Bloomington, Indiana. And then the next night, Petey teamed with Alex Shelley, losing to Brad Bradley and Ryan Boz for IWA Mid-South in Highland, Indiana. And then on November 21st, Petey Williams teamed up with Bobby Roode to defeat Conrad Kennedy III and Ruffy Silverstein.
No way.
For BCW in Ontario, Canada. Chris Sabin, who we just saw on November 20th, he defeated Joy Matthews for 3PW for the gold. Ron Killings, who is competing right now against Bobby Roode. On November 20th, he teamed up with Conan to defeat Lightning and Thunder for IWA Puerto Rico Hardcore Weekend 2004. Obviously in Puerto Rico. And I think Lightning and Thunder are the WCW tag team of Lightning and Thunder.
Wow.
I also could be wrong about that. But yeah, that's the notes thus far that I missed.
Bob catching up for us. And look at that axe kick on Bobby Roode. Beautiful. Coach DeMoore is calling someone now. He's distracting Rudy Charles, friend of the show.
That's right. Oh, man, Eric Young hammering away on Ron Killings. Referee should be fired. Oh, who tripped him? It's BG James. Because he's a thug. Right?
He's a thug. Is it the do-rag? The do-rag gave it away.
He's a thug, and he needs to get his heat.
That's how you become a thug. You put a do-rag on, apparently.
That's right. Ron Killings drop kicked Roode into DeMoore. And he's going to do the pedigree with a split. 1, 2, 3.
That's it.
Beware, Three Live Crew. Beware. Nobody knows, you better call somebody. Beware.
Coming for you. It's the remix, the Three Live Crew. Wait, BG James got a microphone. He's getting that mic time.
What if they just edited it out? That'd be pretty funny.
That was just a small dose of your own socialized medicine. Oh, is he saying because they have good health care and we don't? Is that what he's saying?
He might be.
Oh, MGM won't let me talk like that. The crosshairs are going to be on the Kings of Wrestling, Hall, Nash, and Jarrett. So it seems like we potentially are going to be pivoting to a Three Live Crew Kings of Wrestling story. Are we really going to get that match?
No way.
I can talk and I can sing, but I'd rather do the dang thing. At Turning Point, they're going to promise that they're walking out. Right. They're promising they're going to walk out with the titles. Not one, not two, but the 3 Live Crew T-shirt guy, I believe that T-shirt guy has 2 T-shirts.
Well, he's really
towel guy. He's got like a black one and a red one, and they're both off. He's just got like a tank top on.
Yeah.
I thought it was him.
No, I'm sure it was.
Another Turning Point thing here. We are about to be ready. 39 minutes into this show here. I believe we have just the main event left. And if you're Bob, we have 12 minutes, 20 seconds left of the show.
That's right. That's how I watch my shows now. Like every way. Reviewing it, anything. That's how I do it.
I don't like that the losing team can't team up again because I like both teams.
That's what I'm saying. Why is it gotta be that they split up? I don't understand.
They like to make us sad. And then this insane bullshit. The most insane shit I've ever seen in my entire life. AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy, and Macho Man versus Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, and Jeff Jarrett.
If you would have asked me in June 2002 if that match would have ever happened in TNA, I would have called you a liar.
No fucking way.
No fucking way. I would have been like, Jeff Hardy ain't never shown up. And then you say Macho Man, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, right. We're getting, this is the original Turning Point like announcement video where they all like talk.
Yeah.
The Turning Point is here. I live the dream. I dare to dream. Destiny awaits. TNA Wrestling. Live December 5th on pay-per-view. What's this? The Young Guns, the Young Lions. Oh, they're showing earlier today. The Young Guns standing up to the Kings of Wrestling. Dude, watch. You're going to see some like private parts. Look at whoa!
Hey-o.
Dude, it's so funny.
Is he wearing his regular Outsiders gear? Let's see.
Yes, he is. The red.
He is. Ooh. Yeah. Ooh.
This is the only gear he's worn in TNA. I don't think he's worn the white, right?
No.
It's the red drippy gear, in case you're not watching.
He doesn't look to be in like horrible shape.
He doesn't look what?
He doesn't look to be in horrible shape.
No, I don't really think so. He's not. I think I would say he's slightly bigger than he was when we seen him last. But I don't think bad, really, by any means. Well,
I mean, his face is significantly different. I think he's more bloated in the face, whatever. But in terms of body, it's not that bad. AJ getting a full on pyro here.
Pyro and like smoke and shit, dude. AJ Styles has one of the best TNA theme songs of all time.
Yeah.
Him and Jarrett, and well, spoiler, Sting has one of my absolute favorites.
How is it really different than like some WCW version?
No, it's way different. The one that he eventually uses, the one that we saw already.
Yeah.
The one he eventually uses is very different. Okay, guys, the bell has rung. We're apparently already like 13 seconds into this, even though it literally just rung. And Scott Hall and AJ Styles. Scott Hall is like, I'm going to break you. I'm going to throw you out of the ring, and you're going to die. Okay, well, I don't know if we're going to see him. I'm assuming we will, Bob, but I'm gonna quiz you right now.
Okay.
It is noted here. Alvarez points out, his friend Keith said this. Of the 884 days that TNA has been in existence, as of the writing of this particular article, How many days has Jeff Jarrett held the NWA World Heavyweight title?
Okay. It's how many days? 800 and what?
884 as of this got published on November 29th.
Okay. So Jarrett didn't win it until November of 2002. And he held that until June 3. So that would be 369. Right? November, December, January, February, March, June. So let's say 200. I'm gonna say he's held it for 750 days.
Okay, a little high, but he held it for 555 out of 884 days.
That's insane.
Isn't that gross?
Good for him, though. You know what? Good for him. He believes in himself.
Right. We're in a commercial now. Well, we're back from the commercial, but we have a highlight package. But yeah. Styles and Hall were just trading some chops in the corner.
Yeah, let me do AJ's indie notes real quick here. So back on November 13th, AJ Styles won a 30-minute Ironman match against James Tighe for FWA British Uprising 3. And obviously that was in England. He won that 2-1. And then on November 20th, 3PW heavyweight champion Christopher Daniels defeated AJ Styles at 3PW's for the gold at the ECW Arena.
Oh. And we're back. 6 minutes, 5 seconds left in the match.
6 minutes and 18 seconds left in the show.
Oh, wow. Are we really not going to see Jarrett the rest of this night? Like, is that potentially a real reality?
Maybe not.
Oh. Was this supposed to be a pop-up powerbomb, but Styles looked like he... I don't know. That just didn't look good. It looked like he landed bad.
Kevin Nash coming out. Oh, is that man?
There he is. Even TNA goes, not sure if that's on camera yet, but...
Misses a clothesline. AJ comes off the ropes. Caught. Fallaway slam.
He should have came out in the towel.
Come out in the towel that he was in the locker room?
I would have died.
That's something
that's one of my new favorite Kevin Nash moments. Scott Hall falling back into the room and Kevin Nash is sitting in a towel and tanning sunglasses on the couch.
They have a devastating abdominal stretch. Scott Hall learned that from IRS back in their January of '94 feud.
Oh, well, teamwork. He's helping him with the abdominal stretch.
Andrew Thomas was like, what's going on? Kevin Nash just straighten out the turnbuckle pads.
What the fuck? It's like, okay, ring's looking tight. And he's rubbing his eyes. Andrew Thomas keeps checking as it gets wrenched really hard. Look, they're doing it a third time. Oh, he caught him that time.
Saw that time. Kicks it away. Hip toss by AJ. But he misses an elbow.
AJ missed the elbow there.
Oh, Scott Hall's got. He's just casually slapping AJ. Oh, AJ with the enziguri. Come on, AJ.
There's no way.
You can't do the job to Scott Hall. But then again, can Scott Hall do the job to AJ going into the pay-per-view? I don't know. Spin kick, though, by AJ.
It puts us in a weird place. Who knows?
Clothesline knocks down Scott Hall. He more or less plopped over, but he knocked him down. To the ropes. There's Kevin Nash. The referee did not see that. Scott Hall with a choke slam. No way. 1, feud. I was gonna say he never wins with that.
I was gonna say, yeah, there's no way. Why does Kevin Nash have a chair all of a sudden?
He's trying to sit around at ringside, duh.
I, for one, love gray hair Kevin Nash. I don't care what anyone says.
No, he looks great. Oh, AJ.
People who think he doesn't look like he cares. Pfft. He looks 50. He is. We're close to it at this point. I don't quite know, but
2004, Kevin Nash. He's probably what?
I'm gonna log.
He might be late 30s maybe, or 45.
Oh shit!
Jeff Hardy just hit a drop kick. Oh, but AJ can't get the 3. Mr. Thomas telling Jeff Hardy to get out of the ring. Oh.
He's 45 on this show.
Right. It's not 50 yet. That's all right. Springboard forearm by AJ. Oh, Kevin Nash has got a chair. Oh, there's Jeff Jarrett with a guitar. And kaboom. Great. There you go. Andrew Thomas. Scott Hall with the cover in the win. I'm legit surprised that Scott Hall competed on TV before the pay-per-view.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, man. Look at the strings holding the guitar down. He just throws it.
I can see how people...
Macho
again, take off another date.
Yeah, we're just...
Now we're down to 4.
Wait, who's behind him?
Who's that with him?
Oh, it's 3 Live Crew. Oh, it's like everyone. The X Division guys. BG and Ron
It's literally everybody on the taping.
This is wild. TNA standing up to the kings of wrestling.
Yeah, this is just funny.
Okay, so
Nash
Bob.
and Hall are in their mid.
Oh wait. The beginning of the end, or the end of the beginning of the Kings of Wrestling at Turning Point. Macho Man Randy Savage and the TNA crew says you guys are in a danger zone. Ooh, yeah. And then that's it. That's all I had to say. And we're going off the air.
See, this storyline is just funny because, like I was saying, Hall and Nash are in their mid-40s, and in a locker room of guys in their early 20s all need to band together to get rid of these guys. It doesn't have the same feel as WCW, where it was Hogan, Hall, and Nash, and they're all just overwhelming. The idea of Jarrett, Hall, and Nash 8 years after that, dominating a program, and then the main guy fighting it is Randy Savage.
Okay, well, when you put it like that,
he's trying to save TNA. It's like, dude, you just got here. What are you talking about?
That's really funny. I didn't think about it like that, but I'm a fan.
This is weird.
Okay, Bob. So, what do you think of the first Dusty Rhodes booked episode of Impact?
I didn't hate it. I'm not surprised by like Scott Hall going over AJ.
No. I mean, I think that was gotta give the bad guys the advantage going into the show.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if we really won't get a feel for this until after the pay-per-view, because he's inheriting the booking before the pay-per-view, so that'll be.
No, I think that's a really fair point.
Yeah, so we might have to get through Turning Point before we really see the depths of Dusty's booking here. But no, I mean, I thought that was I thought it was a fine show. I liked the opening segment where AJ decks Gall because that gives you your show long story,
right,
to justify the main event. So it wasn't just a cold match.
Yeah, I liked it too. I thought it was a fine show. I not only did Randy Savage appear once on Impact, Bob, but now he's appeared twice.
Yes, he did.
Which is pretty crazy. We're living Bob's wet dream fantasy now because his favorite wrestler is appearing on my favorite show.
No, this is living hell.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what to say about that, I guess.
Yeah, that's all right. At least Macho Man's here.
Macho Man's here, baby. I mean, you can't deny that.
No.
Yeah, well, dude, one more show until the next 3-hour pay-per-view. We are flying. I can't believe this, Bob. Every 4 shows we're going to be covering an insane pay-per-view.
I know. That's absurd. But I'm living for it.
Me too, man.
Be good. Next week, though, December 3rd, it has been announced for the NWA World Championship.
That's right. We do know something going into it, dude.
Jeff Jarrett will be defending against Monty Brown. And if I am remembering correctly, this is the first ever NWA World title match on an episode of Impact.
I think that's right. I can't recall another one.
I don't think Jeff Jarrett, wrestling enhancement guys is a title match for the world title. So
no, I don't.
I think that equates to the first time ever it's happened.
I think so too. I was going to try to do a quick look here, but I'm pretty sure. Let's see here. Impact. Oh, that was pay-per-view. Well, because when they were doing them, oh yeah, dude, this is the first time. Yeah, 100%. Because the last time, before the Hardy match that we just saw, the last time he defended the title was against Hardy at the final weekly pay-per-view, September 8th, 2004.
The Date with Fate.
The Date with Fate. And he defended it against Hardy. So if you want to be old school, he kind of went over his 30-day thing. Where you're supposed to defend it a couple times. But yeah, this is a pretty big match. I'm kind of disappointed. It's kind of feeling like a throwaway, but Monty Brown has deserved this match. It's unfortunate that it's kind of happening at this time, but you know what? You never know what'll happen. Maybe Abyss and Monty Brown in the Serengeti Survival match will be for the heavyweight title.
Well, I was just gonna say, could this possibly be a spot where Monty Brown could win the title? Because, like we said, there's no title match at the pay-per-view.
You know what would be pretty freaking cool is not to throw away another appearance, but if Randy Savage costs Jeff Jarrett the title,
that would be interesting.
Talk about some intrigue to add to that 6-man match.
Right. But I feel like Jarrett has the type of ego that he feels like it's better value if the world champion's in the 6-man.
Yeah, which I disagree with, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, it's Jarrett's ego, so.
That's okay. I still like him.
He's all right. Slap nuts, Jeff Jarrett's the best Jeff Jarrett.
High King of the Mountain. Anyway. I'm biased, though. I'm biased. What can I say?
Slap nuts. Chosen one. That's the best one.
Whatever. Teach their own.
Yeah, no, I think I'm right.
You always do. So,
yeah, hey,
anyway.
Everybody, listening.
Jesus Christ.
Who is right? Is it King of the Mountain Jeff Jarrett or is it Chosen One Jeff Jarrett? Which one's the best?
If you're listening to a TNA podcast and you say Chosen One, you're wrong.
No, they'd be right.
No. He's got he does better matches. It's more interesting.
Yeah, his matches are so much better than TNA. Let me brawl through the crowd.
Okay, we're about to get heated here, Bob. You need to send us home. This is about to get real heated, and I'm not in the mood. We have one more episode before Turning Point. Another epic show that is in my 3-disc box set. I'm just ready. I'm going to watch it after this.
No, you're not.
Okay, I won't do that.
Next week, it's Jarrett and Monty Brown for the world title. It's a match that we've been pretty much craving since probably late July or August.
For real.
And we're going to get it on December 3rd. So until next week, for Dallas Gridley, I am Bob Colling Jr., and this has been the TNA Cross the Line Podcast.